Anora is a drama romance comedy film written and directed by Sean Baker. Now I want to check out this film because I am a fan of that director's work. He's known for making these raw, intimate sort of drama films about sex workers or people in the sex work industry. His first film, not co-directed, is Tangerine, filmed on an iPhone. Then he did The Florida Project to great acclaim with Willem Dafoe and a couple of first-time actors. And then he did Red Rocket about a porn star. So Anora is about Annie. She is a exotic dancer, stripper, who does sexual favors sometimes at the club. And she, by chance, because she knows how to speak Russian, she meets Vanya, who is a in-town sort of looking for a good time, so she gives him her number so that he can contact her outside the club and she can come over for sex. So she comes over a couple times and then he asks her to become exclusive for a week and just sort of pretend to be his girlfriend, a sort of exclusive sort of relationship. And the reason why this movie probably won the Palme d'Or and is so hit with such critical acclaim is because it's very intimate, it's very raw, it's very emotional, but it's also very authentic and easygoing. But it also shows the dichotomy between their two lifestyles. You know, Annie works as a exotic dancer. There's no sort of qualms about what she does for extra money on the side. We only see her small non-club life for only like a couple of minutes. This movie really does like to show the juxtaposition between the two different lifestyles. There's her as a hustler working in a club, trying to get as much money as she can, and then coming home in the mornings. The beginning of the film is literally just like her hustling for a couple minutes, and then they cut to her walking home from public transit, you know, sitting on the train. She's got like a beanie. She doesn't look like a stripper. She looks just like she did a night shift, and she passes out. We don't really know much about her in terms of character development, but we know kind of a person she is. And that's really juxtapositioned with Vanya's lifestyle. He's the son of a Russian billionaire, an oligarch or something. So he lives a very privileged life, car collection, giant mansion, party all the time, does whatever he wants, money's not an option, doesn't even have to clean after himself. They got cleaners coming over, so she's really smitten with the lifestyle. Two of them go on this 1 week sugar baby sort of interaction, which involves them getting married, however. An impulse decision because he would like a green card. She wants to, you know, be part of that lifestyle. She likes them. She's obviously attracted to the money. You know, she's a stripper. And this movie is fearless. It really does feel a little bit more authentic than usual because it doesn't have the cliche of the woman has the blanket covering her breasts or they passionately kiss while both in their underwear. There's some full-on small sex scenes in this movie. There's topless scenes. There's topless dancing. There's lots of sex acts. There's lots of swearing. This movie, you know, it's not there to titillate you, but I noticed that the movie does have an interesting sort of style change throughout the entire film. The movie starts with club music and like the sort of gloss and glamour of being or working in a strip club, a high-profile place. There's like 3 different sections. There's like the floor, then there's like a private booth, but it's like only covered by curtains, and then they have like private rooms for more stuff going on. So it's one of those kinds of places. But then about halfway through, when the fantasy sort of fizzles away and we sort of leave the club because she gets married to him and she essentially quits her job, reality sets in, and all of a sudden the weather gets more cold outside, and all of a sudden Brooklyn feels a little bit colder and more sparse, and the glitzy glamour is not there anymore. And there's a really interesting sort of, again, juxtaposition. The first half of the movie is sort of like almost like a fever dream nightclub sort of montage of just fun and just partying it up, and then the second half is the cold realism setting in after the honeymoon phase, basically. The performances are amazing. Not a lot of big names in this movie. Mikey Madison probably being the biggest one, and that lowers the budget. The movie has a very modest budget of only $6 million. That's pretty incredible. The highest of, I think, Sean Baker's movie career so far, but this one just is fearless. There's a couple of pacing problems near the end of the film, but didn't distract me from the overall package. This is a very interesting film that explores classism, the sex industry, also vulnerability, power dynamics in relationships. It's very rich, despite feeling very sparse in character development. You know, like Annie, we only get to see a small part of her life. You know, we see the ramshackle apartment house that she lives in with her sister only for about a couple minutes. And then we're mostly focused on Vanya's amazing, mansion with his pull-out televisions. There's an elevator inside the mansion. She quickly becomes enamored by that, and the movie really explores fantasy and reality and who's playing who's vulnerable. There's a great addition with some stooges of Vanya's father who show up and they start causing conflict. And there's one that she has a big beef with, Igor, because he's a representation of something else. The film's just very interesting in this regard. It's definitely like a white trash Cinderella story, it's been described as, or a sort of something similar along those lines. But the movie, I feel, is very timeless. You could easily take this movie, change some of the professions or the characters around it, it would still work. If you made this like a rich man, flirting with a fast food worker at night or something, or just sweeps her off her feet with the promise of a ring and stuff like that, it would still work. So in that regard, Sean Baker puts his personal touch by having the sex industry in it, like he usually does, but really strong script, really good direction, and really great usage of theme. There's I chugged an energy drink because I was really tired before watching this movie, but I was able to catch a lot of different scenes that might seem like throwaway jokes, but they really reinforce the theme of the power dynamic when someone's very rich. People sort of seem to kiss your ass a lot more, and it sort of puts you in this bubble of no one really tells you, no one's really authentic. And there's multiple scenes in this movie that reinforce that. And you think it's just a joke, but it's actually there for a reason. So Anora blew me away. It's a masterpiece. I give it a 10 out of 10.